Bureau, one of our favorites, David Dellucci, former All-American at Ole Miss, big leaguer, college baseball analyst, ESPN and SEC Network, and world-renowned outdoorsman. What's up, buddy?
Well, you're not going to believe this, but I was fishing in the lake behind the house and just fell in the water. So I don't know if you can hear very well on this phone, but I salvaged it and lost the fish. So shocker. But all's good, man.
No. We hear
great.
you. We hear you loud and clear, but you're going to have to tell me more.
I've been going after this one bass, and I even put bamboo and a whole bunch of structure down there. The other day I was out there with my wife and daughter and set the hook on it, and he yanked the hook, popped the line. So I've been going after him. I don't know, he might be about 5 pounds, 4.5. Okay. And I was out there just now with my mom and sister and trying to get some catfish for dinner. And I'm assuming it's the bass. He set the hook and wrapped me around the pier. And when I went to go lean over, I lost my balance and went in the water. So phone, everything went in with me, but all's good. It was a good laugh, and hopefully no one outside of my family saw that debacle.
Well, the good news is nobody's listening, so nobody heard about it either. All right,
usually this time of year we're talking about turkeys, but I hadn't been in the woods. I've been doing some fishing in the backyard, so that's my outdoors story for the spring so far.
All right, so if you kill a trophy, right? I mean, during deer season, there's certain ones that a guy like you who's been hunting for a long time are going to be special enough that you still go to the taxidermist, you still get it mounted. Maybe it ends up on a wall in an office or a room, because I'm assuming Rachel's not going to let you have it in the living room. Or maybe you do that with a turkey. How big a fish does it have to be for you to consider mounting a fish?
So I've got 2 on the wall. When I was with the Arizona Diamondbacks, there was a 56-acre lake in downtown Phoenix, believe it or not. Not very many people knew about it. And it was catch and release. And I would go there after the game. It wasn't far from Bank One Ballpark, Chase Field now. But after the game, I'd go over there and fish. And I caught a 10 at night. Yeah. Yep. At night. I caught a 10 3/4 and an 11-pound bass out of it. And I just said, to heck with the catch and release. I'll never see a fish this big ever again. So I kept them and I froze them and wrapped them in towels and then put them in a Louisville Slugger bat box and overnighted it home so my dad could take it to the taxidermist and get it mounted. So I have both of those bass on my wall. And at my hunting camp, my wife she loves deer heads, elk heads. She loves fur on the wall. She doesn't care for feathers or fish. So those are at my deer camp. And for me to mount another fish, it would have to be bigger than an 11-pound bass, which is not going to happen down here in Louisiana or Mississippi.
I'm still stuck, David, on Major League Baseball player, finishes game in Phoenix at 9:30, 10 o'clock getting out of the ballpark, and instead of going out to dinner or going to the bar or going to the house or whatever else, you go fishing. It's fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, can't take the country out of the boys, man. I lucked up on that place. And that was where I went. So I love being out there. It was 56 acres and maybe 60 feet deep in the middle. Wow. So off days, after games, I would go out there. And the best bait was a tequila sunrise worm or a water dog, which was a live salamander. And it had the big kind of ring around its neck. And if you were to take a date and you had a bucket full of salamanders, it would be interesting out there when you start pulling these things out. nobody wanted to bait those things on. But, man, they caught some huge bass out there.
I think I just got another piece of the story, but I'm not going to go any farther down that road. maybe for the protection of everybody, we won't go any farther down that road. Hey, since we've got like 4 minutes left, how about a little college baseball? Give me a thought on
you want to talk baseball? Oh, that's what this is about. Oh, my bad. Let's go.
No, I was entertained, and so I kept asking questions. You never cease to amaze me. That's for sure. Let's go Mississippi State first. Not what most people expected with this team. Given what they accomplished a year ago, seem to be righting themselves a little bit, maybe getting a little bit of a flair for the dramatic this past weekend with a couple of walk-off wins. Then they lose on Sunday. When you look at Mississippi State, what do you make of them right now, Luch?
I had the pleasure to call that Sunday game, so I got to watch them from start to finish. I saw the whole series. And, I kept hearing from a lot of the fans that State was underachieving this year, and there was a lot of people disappointed. Let me tell you something. I did some research, and way back in 2018, Mississippi State made a College World Series run. They started out after the first SEC weekend. Their overall record was 10-10. And after the third SEC weekend, their conference record was 2-7. So they're actually sitting better today in 2022 than they were in 2018, and they ended up in the College World Series. And all I would say is the pieces are there. I mean, they had a devastating injury with Landon Sims. They're missing their whole starting or two-thirds of the starting rotation they thought they were going to have this season. And they're piecing it together, but the players are there. The offense is, it's like murderer's row. These guys are huge. With Cumbus and Kellum Clark and Cameron James, they're going to hit. They went off to a slow start, but they're going to be there when the dust settles. And I think this weekend, the way they won those two games, the walk-off wins at home, to see the bats getting locked and loaded, I just think that was the turning point for Mississippi State. And I would not worry about them. I would not question them because of what they've overcome in the past. And they're better off today than they were in years prior. And they ended up in the World Series. And that's the bottom line, is to make it to the College World Series and try to repeat. So I think they're okay. I think they're going to be better, and they're going to hit their stride when they need to.
Ole Miss had a humbling weekend, to put it mildly, to a really, really good and talented Tennessee team. And yet, even given that Tennessee was really, really good, there's some holes that have emerged. Ole Miss has not figured things out on the mound. They're going a different weekend rotation altogether this weekend. What do you make of an Ole Miss team that a week ago right now was number one in the country and yet didn't look anything close to that over the weekend?
Yeah, I think that, let's be honest, Ole Miss is returning 8 position players. That is a veteran-heavy offense that will hit better. I think they're going to hit the long ball better as the temperature warms up. That's not the issue. They will be there throughout the year. They're going to hit. The whole offense is not going to go in a slump. But you're right. It's the pitching. And I thought that the pitching would be better off at this stage of conference play early on than what it is. But the talent is there as well, just like Mississippi State. They're very talented. I think there's just some pieces that need to get shuffled. And when you accept the roster spot in an SEC team and an Ole Miss power program, a nationally ranked program, if you're a pitcher or a hitter, you have got to step up and you've got to carry whatever load is expected. And I just don't think that some of these pitchers understand what their responsibilities are when they go out there. And once they figure that out, Mike Bianco is fantastic putting together pitching staffs and getting the most out of their guys. Once they figure that out, along with that offense, they're going to be tough to beat. I think the number one ranking was unfair. I think, look, everybody kind of figured in college baseball there was going to be a revolving door at number one after Texas went down and after the Tanner Witt injury. They knew it was going to be a different team almost every weekend. Right now it's going to be Tennessee for quite some time, but Ole Miss, it's the pitching. Everybody knows it. That's the I have confidence in Mike Bianco and staff to get those guys prepared for the next several weeks.
David, always appreciate your time. We'll do fishing stories again soon. By the way, a couple of people have said you can absolutely catch a 12, 13-pound bass in South Mississippi. So maybe you need an invite.
Well, hey, I'd love the invite. Prove it to
go.
me. Invite me.
Talk to you soon.